We always want to make sure that the period comes after the citation. You don't put the period here, you put it after the citation. Think of your citation as being part of your sentence, so the period comes after. You also don't want to put your period inside the parentheses, it goes outside. Okay, so now that I have that citation, I'm going to move on to my next fact. So back on my outline, I talked about the geographical regions, I talked about the weather, the humidity, and the hurricanes and tropical storms. So my last part that I want to talk about is Stone Mountain. So I'm going to go to my note cards and find the information that I have on Stone Mountain, and it's going to be in this article by Nicole Mitchell. So I have Stone Mountain is near Atlanta, Georgia. It's a large outcropping of granite, and it has a Civil War carving on one side. So another thing that I wanted to point out is sometimes you have to decide to leave information out. This paragraph is already pretty long. So I need to decide if all of this information is relevant to my paragraph, and I think that the fact that it's near Atlanta, Georgia probably isn't important enough to put in the paragraph, so I'm just going to leave that out. So I want to mention that Stone Mountain is a large outcropping of granite and that it has a Civil War carving on it. So back in my document, I got my sentence here. Georgia is also home to Stone Mountain, a large outcropping of granite with a Civil War carving etched into its face. Now I need my citation. So if I remember correctly, this information came from the article by Nicole Mitchell. So I'm going to go to my Works Cited page, and we already know that since we know the author's last name, that's going to be the first piece of information on the Works Cited page. So that is going to be what's put in my paper. So I have the last name, Mitchell, and the page numbers. And on here, I don't know the specific page number, so I'm going to put the page span because maybe all of those pages talked about Stone Mountain. So I want to put the span of pages there. So what I mean by the span of pages is, say this part of the information that Stone Mountain is located in Georgia was on page 391, but this part of the sentence, that Stone Mountain is a large outcropping of granite with a Civil War carving, was on page 392, then I have to mention both of those pages in my citation. So I'm going to say 391 to 92. You can put 392 if you want, but it makes the citation a little bit more concise if you just leave off that 3 and say it was from 391 to 392. And then we put our period. Okay, so now I have all of my facts in my paragraph now, and I have all of my citations listed here. Now I had my topic sentence that introduced the topic of the paragraph, and now I need my clincher sentence that closes off the paragraph. So I'm going to summarize my paragraph by saying Georgia boasts a varied geography with a temperate climate. And those are my words. I am summarizing everything that I've already listed, so I don't need a citation there. This is just a summary of the facts that I've listed. And that is the conclusion of my paragraph. Now I can move on to my next one when I'm ready. Okay, so I just wanted to do this step by step with you to show you when you're writing in your information how you put your citations in afterwards and what that looks like in relation to your Works Cited page. So in that paragraph, I didn't use this citation and I didn't use this citation. But but I might use those in a different paragraph. So the only ones I used were these. And if you look at your note cards, you should be able to remember which sources you used up here. And that is why I had you write the sources in the top right corner, so that you would know when you do your citations where you found that information from. So there you have it. This is what your paragraph should look like when you're done with it. The important thing to remember is that every fact you include, you have to give credit to the source where you found that information. So almost every sentence will have a citation after it unless, like I mentioned in the example, you have 2 or more sentences from the same source. Then you only put the citation after the last sentence.